Someone who I really respect said, you should be calling the person who asked you to leave CNN and telling them thank you.
News anchors are supposed to be the trusted voices we turn to every day. But sometimes, the people delivering the headlines become the headline themselves. Over the years, several presenters have been fired on the spot after shocking moments that no one saw coming. Join us as we count down the most unbelievable cases of news presenters who were fired immediately after it happened. Matt Lauer. For years, Matt Lauer was the face of morning television. As the longtime co-host of NBC's Today Show, he seemed untouchable, greeting viewers each morning with the confidence of a man at the top of his profession. But everything changed in an instant on November 29, 2017, when NBC made a shocking announcement. Matt Lauer had been fired, effective immediately. The sudden move left audiences stunned, as there had been no public hint of trouble until that very morning. NBC revealed that a female employee had filed a detailed complaint accusing Lauer of inappropriate behavior in the workplace. The network said the allegations were serious and credible, and executives believed it would have been impossible for him to remain in his position. Once the first report came out, more women quickly stepped forward with similar stories, showing a troubling pattern that NBC could not ignore. One of the most disturbing claims to surface was that Lauer had a hidden button installed under his office desk. This button allegedly allowed him to lock the door remotely, raising concerns that he had used it to trap women in uncomfortable situations. The detail shocked the public and was widely shared in the media, further damaging his image. NBC acted swiftly to remove all traces of Lauer. His photos were taken out of promotional materials, his name was scrubbed from the Today Show's history, and he was treated as though he had never been a central part of the program. The network wanted to send a clear message of separation. Lauer tried to defend himself, insisting some claims were false or exaggerated, but it didn't matter. His career and reputation were destroyed overnight. And if you think this firing was intense, wait until you hear about the next one. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan was one of the most outspoken hosts on Good Morning Britain, and he was known for never holding back his views. But in March 2021, his career at ITV came to a dramatic end after the explosive Oprah Winfrey interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. In the interview, Meghan spoke openly about her struggles with mental health during her time as a senior royal. Morgan reacted with harsh criticism. On air, he dismissed Meghan's claims, saying he didn't believe a word she had said. His comments sparked outrage, especially because many felt they downplayed the seriousness of mental health issues. Viewers immediately began filing complaints. Within days, Ofcom, the UK's broadcasting regulator, confirmed it had received more than 40,000 complaints, making it one of the most complained about moments in British television history. The situation came to a head during a live broadcast when co-host Alex Beresford confronted Morgan directly. Beresford suggested that Morgan's constant criticism of Meghan was rooted in personal resentment, as she had once cut ties with him. The confrontation grew tense, and instead of responding calmly, Morgan abruptly stood up, declared he was done with this, and stormed off the set in front of a live audience. Although he later returned, the damage was already done. The clip of him walking out spread quickly, fueling even more backlash. That same day, ITV announced that Piers Morgan would be leaving Good Morning Britain effective immediately. While Morgan claimed he quit on principle, many believed he had been forced out due to the overwhelming controversy. And just when you think one fiery exit is enough, the next story shows another anchor's downfall was just as swift. Don Lemon. For nearly 2 decades, Don Lemon was one of CNN's biggest names. For 17 years, viewers tuned in nightly to see him break down major stories with his direct style. That long run came to an unexpected halt in April 2023, when Lemon learned through his agent that CNN had decided to part ways with him. The sudden firing shocked both viewers and media insiders. CNN released a short statement thanking Lemon for his years of service. But behind the scenes, reports pointed to mounting tensions. In recent months, Lemon had become the center of several controversies. One of the most talked about moments came when he clashed with GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy during a live interview. The exchange grew heated, with Lemon accusing Ramaswamy of lying about Black history, and the segment went viral for its combative tone. Another moment that stirred backlash was his remark about Republican candidate Nikki Haley, when he said that women in politics are past their prime after a certain age. The comment was widely criticized as sexist, and Lemon was forced to issue an apology. Even so, the incident hurt his standing both inside and outside the network. After news of his firing broke, Lemon took to Twitter, expressing anger that no one at CNN management had the decency to tell him directly. CNN quickly fired back, calling his version of events inaccurate and defending their decision. Either way, his time at the network was over. And if Don Lemon's firing felt dramatic, the next case shows how one mistake on a work call destroyed a career overnight. Jeffrey Toobin. For nearly 3 decades, Jeffrey Toobin worked as a staff writer for The New Yorker and also served as a senior legal analyst for CNN. His career seemed solid until October 2020, when one shocking incident changed everything. During a work-related Zoom call with colleagues from The New Yorker, Toobin believed his camera was off. But it wasn't. He was caught engaging in explicit behavior while still visible to others on the call. His stunned colleagues quickly shut down the meeting, and word of what had happened spread fast. Within hours, Toobin was suspended by The New Yorker and placed on leave from CNN. Weeks later, The New Yorker made its decision final. After 27 years at the magazine, Toobin was fired. It was a dramatic end to a long career, and the incident became one of the most infamous examples of workplace misconduct in the digital age. CNN, however, took a different approach. 8 months after the incident, the network quietly reinstated Toobin, allowing him to return to the air in 2021. This move sparked immediate outrage, with many viewers and critics arguing that his actions had permanently destroyed his credibility. The backlash was intense, and while Toobin tried to downplay the scandal by calling it a stupid mistake, the public wasn't ready to forgive or forget. In 2022, Toobin announced he was leaving CNN for good. Whether he resigned voluntarily or was pushed out was never made entirely clear. What was certain was that his reputation, once respected, was now permanently damaged. And if you thought this Zoom scandal was shocking, the next story proves that even standing up for a colleague can cost a news anchor everything. Mark Mester. In September 2022, viewers of KTLA in Los Angeles were stunned when longtime anchor Lynette Romero suddenly left the station. Romero had been with KTLA for more than 2 decades and was a familiar, trusted presence on screen. Her departure was announced quickly, and without giving her the chance to say goodbye to viewers, which left many fans upset. But no one was more angered than her co-anchor, Mark Mester. Instead of following the script prepared by management, Mester went off on an unscripted rant live on air. He openly criticized KTLA executives for how they handled Romero's exit, calling their actions unfair and disrespectful. He told viewers she deserved the opportunity to thank them and explain her departure herself. To make his point even stronger, Mester aired a pre-recorded tribute video for Romero. The station had reportedly refused to show it, but Mester played it anyway, standing firmly by his colleague. The move was bold, but it also directly challenged management in front of a live audience. Things didn't calm down behind the scenes. Reports said that Mester shouted obscenities at staff, confronted executives, and even stormed out of meetings following the incident. The tensions made it clear that his relationship with KTLA leadership had broken beyond repair. Within days, KTLA suspended Mester, and shortly afterward, he was permanently fired. Fans rallied behind him, praising his loyalty to Romero, but the station didn't back down. His career at KTLA ended as quickly as hers, showing how one act of defiance can change everything. And as surprising as this was, the next case shows how even a simple on-air mistake can go viral and end a promising news career. Natasha Exelby. In 2017, Australian news anchor Natasha Exelby became the center of one of the most unexpected viral moments in television. While presenting on ABC 24, the broadcast cut back to her too soon after a pre-recorded segment. Instead of looking poised and ready, she was staring at her pen, completely distracted. When she realized she was live on air, her eyes widened in shock, and she quickly tried to recover. The clip lasted only a few seconds, but it spread across the internet almost instantly. Viewers around the world shared the footage, turning Exelby's startled reaction into memes, GIFs, and countless social media jokes. While many people found it harmless and funny, the reaction inside ABC was different. The following day, Exelby was quietly pulled from her regular on-air duties. The network denied that she had been fired, insisting she was still an employee, but she was never allowed to return to her role as a live news reader. This decision caused a wave of criticism. Supporters argued that such a small mistake did not justify such harsh treatment. Journalists across Australia and beyond began posting their own bloopers in solidarity, highlighting that live television is full of unpredictable moments. The backlash painted ABC as overly strict and unfair in how it handled the incident. Exelby herself spoke out, saying she believed she was punished for a minor slip that was blown out of proportion. With her career as a serious news anchor effectively over, she was forced to pivot toward other media opportunities, including radio and lifestyle programs. While she stayed in the industry, her time as a respected news presenter ended with that viral moment. And if one surprised look could cost a career, wait until you see how simply going gray got another anchor removed from her job. LaFlamme. LaFlamme was one of Canada's most respected journalists. For 35 years, she worked with CTV News, reporting from war zones, covering major elections, and guiding viewers through some of the world's biggest stories. She earned multiple awards and the trust of an entire nation. That's why so many were shocked in August 2022 when CTV abruptly announced she would no longer serve as chief anchor. LaFlamme had recently made a personal decision that became central to the controversy. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she stopped dyeing her hair and embraced her natural silver color. Many viewers praised the choice, seeing it as authentic and relatable, but reports soon surfaced claiming that executives at CTV were unhappy with her new look. Some insiders alleged that leaders wanted a younger face for the network and that her gray hair may have played a role in the decision to remove her. The reaction from the public was immediate and fierce. Viewers accused the network of sexism and ageism, arguing that a man with gray hair would never face the same treatment. Social media campaigns quickly gained traction, demanding answers from CTV about why such a respected journalist was dismissed so suddenly. Even major brands joined the conversation. Wendy's, for example, temporarily changed its famous red-haired mascot to feature gray hair, a gesture of support for LaFlamme that was widely applauded online. The controversy grew so large that it overshadowed CTV's attempts to move forward with new anchors. While LaFlamme handled the situation with professionalism and later moved on to new projects, the incident sparked a lasting debate about how women in media are judged for their appearance. And if a hair color could spark outrage worldwide, the next case shows how one hot mic slip cost a young anchor his job before it even started. A.J. Clemente. In April 2013, A.J. Clemente was about to begin what should have been the biggest moment of his career. He had just been hired as a news anchor at KFYR-TV, an NBC affiliate in Bismarck, North Dakota. His debut broadcast was scheduled for that evening, and it was supposed to be his first chance to introduce himself to viewers as the station's newest face. But within seconds of going live, his career took a disastrous turn. Just before his official introduction, Clemente was caught on a hot microphone muttering profanity to himself. Believing his microphone was off, he blurted out a few curse words while trying to prepare for his opening lines. Unfortunately, the comments went out live on air, and viewers across the state heard everything. His co-anchor tried to continue as if nothing had happened, but the clip quickly spread online. Within hours, the video went viral on social media. People across the country replayed the brief but shocking moment, turning it into memes and sharing it on national news platforms. Many viewers expressed sympathy, recognizing that he was nervous on his first day and had made an honest mistake. Still, the mistake was too big for the station to overlook. The very next day, KFYR-TV announced that Clemente had been fired. While the decision was not popular with everyone, the station insisted that professionalism on air was non-negotiable. Clemente tried to recover by appearing on The Today Show and The Late Show with David Letterman, where he laughed off the blunder, but those appearances couldn't undo the damage. He never managed to land another high-profile news job. And if this seems harsh, the next story proves that sometimes even how you dress for work can get you instantly removed from television. Bob Beckel. Bob Beckel was well known to Fox News viewers as one of the original co-hosts of The Five. His role on the program was to provide the liberal counterpoint to the show's mostly conservative panel, and his outspoken personality often sparked fiery debates. But while controversy on air was part of his style, it was an off-camera remark in 2017 that brought his time at Fox to a sudden end. According to reports, Beckel made an insensitive, racially offensive comment to a black colleague behind the scenes. The remark was serious enough that Fox News executives acted immediately. Within hours, Beckel was fired, and the network publicly confirmed that his behavior was unacceptable. For a man who thrived on stirring debate, this was one controversy that went too far. This wasn't Beckel's first exit from Fox News. Back in 2015, he had been let go after a battle with substance misuse, and health problems kept him off the air for months. When he returned in 2017, some saw it as a second chance to restore his career. That chance ended the moment his behind-the-scenes comment came to light. After his firing, Beckel tried to defend himself, saying the incident had been blown out of proportion. However, neither Fox News nor the public was willing to overlook it. Unlike some controversies that fade over time, this one closed the door for good on his future at the network. For Beckel, it was a reminder that even a single comment made off-camera can have permanent consequences. And if Beckel's misstep seems bad, the next case shows how one furious meltdown caught on tape completely destroyed another anchor's career. Vic Faust. Vic Faust was a news anchor in St. Louis who seemed to be on the rise, but his career came to a crashing halt after one explosive moment behind the scenes. During what should have been a normal day in the newsroom, Faust lost his temper with his female co-anchor, and his reaction was anything but professional. According to reports, Faust launched into a profanity-filled tirade during a private conversation. He insulted his colleague repeatedly, using harsh language and curse words over and over. The rant went on for several minutes and left those who heard it stunned. What Faust didn't realize at the time was that the entire outburst had been recorded. When the audio was leaked, it quickly spread online. Listeners were shocked by the intensity of his anger and the words he chose. Instead of coming across as a heated argument between co-workers, the recording made Faust sound aggressive and unhinged. Viewers who once saw him as a trusted news presenter now questioned whether he belonged in front of a camera at all. The backlash was immediate. Viewers flooded the station with complaints, and social media users called for his firing. His employers wasted no time making their decision. Faust was removed from both his television role at Fox 2 in St. Louis and his local radio job shortly after. The incident left his reputation in ruins. Years of building credibility as a broadcaster were undone by a single outburst that he could never take back. Once the recording was public, there was no way to repair the damage. And if that seems like a devastating mistake, the next story shows how even a simple factual error during breaking news can ruin a journalist's career. Matt Gutman. In January 2020, the world was shaken by the tragic helicopter crash that killed NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others. News outlets rushed to cover the breaking story, and ABC News correspondent Matt Gutman was among the reporters on the scene. In the chaos of trying to deliver fast updates, Gutman made a mistake that would follow him for years. During a live report, Gutman incorrectly stated that all 4 of Kobe Bryant's daughters had been on board the helicopter. This claim was false. In reality, only Gianna was among the victims. The error quickly spread, adding unnecessary grief to an already devastating situation. Viewers and critics immediately questioned how such a serious mistake could have been made on live television. ABC News acted swiftly, suspending Gutman indefinitely. The network explained that his report had raised major concerns about accuracy and journalistic integrity. In the world of breaking news, facts matter most, and Gutman's mistake was seen as a serious breach of trust. After some time away, Gutman was eventually reinstated. While he returned to reporting, his reputation never fully recovered. For many, he became closely associated with the error during one of the most sensitive news stories in recent memory. Although he continued to work for the network, the shadow of that moment never left him. In 2023, Gutman officially parted ways with ABC. The network cited budget cuts, but many observers believed the lingering impact of the Kobe Bryant report played a role in the decision. What should have been a long and stable career in journalism was forever marked by one costly mistake. And if this shows how fragile trust in news can be, the next story reveals how openly clashing with your own network can end a career just as quickly. Barbie Bassett. Barbie Bassett was a longtime news anchor in Mississippi, well known to viewers for her friendly and approachable style. But in March 2023, a single remark on air brought her career to an unexpected stop. During a lighthearted talk show segment, the hosts were discussing rapper Snoop Dogg. In an attempt to join in the fun, Bassett repeated one of his well-known phrases, saying, "Faux shizzle my nizzle." The phrase, made famous by Snoop Dogg, has been widely recognized in popular culture for years. Many viewers who saw the clip considered it a harmless and even playful reference. However, others pointed out that nizzle is a slang variation of a racial slur, which made the remark more controversial. The clip spread quickly online, where it gained national attention. Inside the station, management treated the moment as a serious issue. Shortly after the broadcast, Bassett was taken off the air. Not long after, reports confirmed that she had been fired. The station did not release a detailed explanation, but the timing made it clear her joke had cost her the job. The decision created a wave of debate. Supporters of Bassett argued that she had not intended any offense and was simply echoing a phrase associated with Snoop Dogg. Many felt her firing was an overreaction and that the punishment did not fit the situation. Social media users, especially fans of hip-hop, defended her and said even Snoop himself would likely have laughed it off. Still, the station stood firm. Bassett never returned to her anchor chair, and her career at that network ended. And if one playful remark could end a career, the next story shows how a heated debate on live television went so far, it turned into a physical fight. Aljarat. Aljarat was a Jordanian journalist known for his strong views, but one live debate pushed him far beyond the limits of professional conduct. During a televised discussion about Middle Eastern politics, he clashed with another guest in what started as a heated exchange of words. At first, it was just raised voices and pointed fingers, but things quickly spiraled out of control. As the argument intensified, both men stood up from their seats. Neither was willing to back down, and within moments, the debate turned physical. Aljarat threw a punch, and his opponent struck back. What followed looked less like a news discussion and more like a fight, with papers flying, chairs tipping, and crew members rushing onto the set to break it up. The chaos unfolded live on television, leaving stunned viewers unsure of what they had just witnessed. Clips of the brawl spread rapidly across social media and international news outlets. The scene was replayed countless times around the world, making it one of the most viral moments in Jordanian television history. While some viewers laughed at the spectacle, many criticized it as a complete breakdown of professionalism. For a journalist, losing control so completely on air was seen as unacceptable. The response from the network was swift. Aljarat was immediately suspended while executives reviewed the incident. Not long after, they announced that he would not return to the program. The decision effectively ended his role as a credible news presenter, as the brawl overshadowed his career. And if a televised fistfight shocked viewers, the next story proves that even sipping coffee on air can be enough to cost someone their job. Fired over a Starbucks cup. In one of the strangest cases of an anchor losing their job, a Turkish newscaster was fired not for words or actions, but for something as simple as a coffee cup. During a live broadcast, viewers noticed a Starbucks cup sitting on the desk in front of her as she delivered the news. What might have seemed like an ordinary detail quickly turned into a national controversy. At the time, Starbucks was facing a boycott in Turkey. Many believed the company was tied to political causes, and emotions around the issue were extremely high. Seeing a Starbucks cup on air was viewed by some as an endorsement of the brand at a moment when it was deeply unpopular in the country. The fact that it happened during a live news broadcast, where neutrality is expected, only made the backlash stronger. Social media in Turkey exploded within hours. Viewers accused the presenter of being politically insensitive, and some even demanded she be removed from her role immediately. The outrage grew so quickly that the network felt it had no choice but to act. Despite no evidence that she was making a political statement, the anchor was fired almost instantly. And if losing a job over coffee seems harsh, the next story shows how a hot mic ended the career of a well-known anchor after 20 years. Rosato. Rosato was one of the most familiar faces on New York television. For nearly 20 years, he co-hosted Eyewitness News This Morning on WABC, becoming part of many viewers' daily routines. His professionalism and steady presence made him a trusted anchor. That's why his sudden firing in May 2023 came as such a shock. The incident that ended his career didn't happen during a broadcast. According to reports, Rosato made an offensive remark off-air, not realizing his microphone was still live. Exactly what he said has never been confirmed publicly, but insiders described it as serious enough for the station to act immediately. Within hours, Rosato was gone. There was no farewell show, no chance to thank viewers, and no official explanation offered by WABC beyond confirming his departure. The lack of details fueled speculation. Some believed it must have been a racial slur, though Rosato's representatives quickly pushed back on that idea. They insisted that he had not used racist language, but declined to clarify what he actually said. The refusal to provide specifics left the situation clouded in mystery and made the story even bigger. For viewers, the sudden erasure of Rosato was hard to accept. Someone who had been part of their mornings for 2 decades was wiped from the program overnight, with little acknowledgement of his long career. The speed and finality of the decision showed that the network had no interest in offering second chances. And as sudden as that was, let's rewind to another shocking fall, when Matt Lauer went from king of morning TV to disgraced in a single day. If you found these stories surprising, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next one.